Hello everybody, I'm KC, and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk About. Today, let's talk about the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic episode, Fluttershy Leans In. Or should I say, welcome to the insanely biased review hour. I mean, every review is biased on some level, and anyone who says otherwise clearly hasn't seen enough reviewers. But I'm just gonna tell you up front, Fluttershy is my favorite pony, and this is a big episode for her, even if there's really nothing special about the episode itself. At all. But let's look at the setup. After an incident while Angel was practicing bunny parkour, which, fine, I will admit that was really cute. You get 1 point, Angel, but don't get cocky. Fluttershy takes him to the vet, but it turns out the vet is overflowing with animals who have nowhere to go. So Fluttershy wants to help them. How? Well, it turns out Fluttershy has a dream.
I've got a dream! I've got a dream!
She's got a dream!
She's wanted to build an animal sanctuary in Ponyville for some time, and this is the push she needs to get it done. But before we get into that, can we appreciate just how many different animal species we get to see in this episode? It was nice of them to bring back the same vet from Secret of My Excess, but just how many different kinds of animals they crammed into this office, a good chunk of which we haven't seen before, was a real treat for me who really enjoys the designs of this show. Sure, there's the obligatory bear and bunnies, but I think this is the first time we've seen animals like koalas and sloths, and I'm positive it's the first time we've seen a giraffe, so visually, this episode is a delight for me. But in order for Fluttershy to build her sanctuary, that's being funded by the Overlooked by the Writers Foundation, the girls recommend some ponies to help her. These three are fine. Not particularly memorable, except for the fact that one of them kind of sounds like Tara Strong doing an Applejack impression.
Yeah! I'm just looking forward to helping you out, man.
But not as horrible as some other ponies on the show, so I can't say they're terrible. As the episode goes on, these experts go over Fluttershy's head, convinced they know what's best, and do things their way while completely ignoring Fluttershy's requests. When Fluttershy finds out about this, she immediately fires them. Now, I don't know about you, but when I first watched this, as proud as I was of Fluttershy for standing up for herself, I was a bit confused at what the show was trying to get across here. At first, it looks like Fluttershy gets upset at the pony she hired for not following her somewhat vague requests and fires the professionals for doing their jobs. I really didn't know how to feel about this, but watching it again, knowing how it plays out, I think I got it. Hire people who will work well with you. Yes, these ponies were the professionals and have done many successful jobs in their field. And if Art of the Dress taught us anything, it's to sometimes trust the person you hire to do their job well. But in this case, these just weren't the right ponies for the job. In many professions and collaborative efforts you look at, there are many different kinds of people who specialize in many different kinds of things. And this episode could be demonstrating the process of finding the right professionals to work with you on a specific project. From contractors to lawyers and heck, internet collabs to an extent, you need just the right person for the job to fit what you want to accomplish, and have it come out as close to your vision as you can, which is what Fluttershy does by calling Big Daddy McCult. Nice callback, by the way. But on the other hand, once these characters mess up, they're just fired. No indecisiveness, no conflict. Once Fluttershy sees that they messed up and acted against her wishes, they're gone. And that's really the biggest and, I'll be honest, most valid criticism of this episode. There's really not much in terms of conflict, which is pretty much essential in any form of storytelling. Conflict is what builds everything else in a story. Even if the conflict is small, like say, finding out you enjoy something you thought you'd hate, or trying to fit in after centuries of being away, there has to be something moving the story forward to engage the audience. And the character going through that conflict has to end up in a different place than they did at the beginning of the story. But that's not the case here. Here, Fluttershy sets out to do something, she gets rid of all obstacles without much struggle, and gets what she wants. The end. This just seems to be going through the motions. Every time some tension starts to build, it's immediately resolved. And yes, that is a big problem. And for most people, that possibly makes this the most basic, forgettable episode in the series. But I'm not one of those people. There's a reason I stated at the start of this video that Fluttershy is my favorite pony, because for Fluttershy fans, this episode might as well be called Catharsis. For people who have been following Fluttershy since the first episode, where she was too shy to even introduce herself, this episode is awesome. The very concept of the sanctuary shows that Fluttershy had long-term goals, which is something that was completely absent from her character that most of the other girls had. And it's a long-term goal that will likely be reappearing in in future episodes. When Fluttershy is discussing the plans with the experts, she doesn't let them sway her into doing something she doesn't want to do. She sticks to her convictions and is very respectful at doing so. She's not blowing up in other ponies' faces in an absurd 180 turn. She is demonstrating healthy assertion without being too shy to vocalize it. And the fact that when the experts all gang up on her, insisting that their way is the best and only way, she doesn't back down or give in, is, after almost 7 years, incredibly satisfying. Sure, Fluttershy didn't learn anything in this episode. She knew what she wanted and she got it without much resistance, but that doesn't mean there wasn't development. It's just been building on dozens of other appearances and hours of internal character development. This is the bookend of a very long character arc for Fluttershy, and as someone who is slowly working through similar anxieties, this is very rewarding. And if they don't make that sanctuary into a playset, I will be shocked. I mean, look at this place. It has stairs, for crying out loud. How much more toyetic can you get? Overall, I'm very sorry. I know as a single story, this episode is bland and not very good, but I really, really enjoyed this one. I know that it fails on a narrative level spectacularly, but it was just a nice episode to watch for me. Even if this episode itself doesn't have any form of conflict for Fluttershy besides the most basic of external conflicts, and Fluttershy stays the same through the entire story, I just can't be too upset. This is a celebration for Fluttershy fans to have all of the small steps she's taken over the course of the series culminate in a proactive and confident little pony. She'll probably be shy or meek in the future, but now she has the self-confidence to push that to the side when it really matters. And even if it's in probably the most boring episode of the entire series, I just can't hate it. Bottom line, I know it's not good, but I'm just so happy for Flutters that I don't care. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.